Let's take you to the High Court sitting in Pietermaritzburg. That's where judgment will be handed down relating to former President Jacob Zuma's bid to remove lead prosecutor Billy Downer from his corruption trial. Zuma's initial plea to have Downer recused was dismissed by the High Court back in October. Now, last month, Zuma returned to the court, outlining an application to deal with that dismissal. Newzroom Africa's Karinda Jagmohan is already just outside court for us, where that ruling will be handed down. She joins us now live. And Karinda, perhaps it's worth looking back for a while. Get us up to speed with what the arguments so far have been.
Indeed. And the argument on the part of the former President Jacob Zuma is that Billy Downer lacks impartiality and independence to further prosecute him in this matter. Downer has been at the helm of this case for years now. Remember, he was the chief prosecutor in the trial against Zuma's financial advisor Shabir Sheikh, who was convicted on counts of corruption and fraud relating to charges within the arms deal trial, ultimately linking Zuma to the alleged irregular expenditure, bribery, fraud and corruption. Zuma now, we know, is facing several charges relating to this matter here at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. And the trial against him was supposed to get underway in May last year, but on the first day of this trial, just after Zuma pleaded not guilty to the charges against him, his attorney, Advocate Dalian Pofu, stood up to actually detail the special plea that Zuma would make before the court, essentially to request that Billy Downer be removed or have himself be recused from this case because of many reasons. Essentially, we understand matters of alleged political interference that Zuma is claiming, and thus feels that the case against him would not be free and fair.
And Karinda, do we have any indication yet about whether or not the former president will be present today?
We understand that he will not be present today. That's according to the sources close to him on the ground, because this is essentially going to be judgment handed down to understand whether or not today Zuma will be able to have leave to further appeal the dismissal of his initial plea, whether he'll be able to appeal this at a higher court. Remember, on the 27th of October last year, Judge Piet Koen here dismissed Zuma's plea to have Billy Downer removed from this case, and then shortly after that we then heard that Zuma would further appeal this decision. He made this appeal and the arguments were made earlier this or last month rather, and today we're going to hear whether or not that is going to be successful. And because it's just really essentially going to be this judgment that will be handed down, we understand that Zuma nor supporters of his will be outside court. We haven't seen many road closures. I'm seeing a few traffic officers outside court, but this is quite common when such a matter is before this court, essentially because there is usually at least a handful of supporters. So we will see that a bit later in the day before this matter gets underway.
Karinda Jagmohan, thanks very much indeed. Karinda, live to us there from just outside the High Court sitting in Pietermaritzburg. Of course, once that ruling is handed down, we'll also make sure to bring that coverage live for you here on Newzroom Africa.